This is the next in the series on iterative solution of simultaneous equations with TK Solver. This session will go into more detail on how we can automate the process of solving sets of simultaneous equations, which could be used in application development. We had seen before that if we get a direct solution to a set of equations, we can also back solve using iteration. So for example, if I were to use 8.5, we see solving that an iteration is required, so we give it an initial guess for the radius and solve. We can automate this by putting a first guess value on the variable subsheet. Now when we solve, the iteration is triggered. If I change the value of, say, volume, it automatically triggered that initial guess. Gives us a new value of the radius and solves the equations that way. This value of the radius of 3 will be used regardless of what happens to these other inputs. So if we have something along the lines of 20 for the volume and 5 for the slant, it would still try to use that value of 3 and get us this particular solution. What we might want to do is make the guess dependent on one or more of the inputs. The way we do that is by using an extra variable, a dummy variable, if you will. This dummy variable can be used in a rule on the rule sheet. So I will say that radius is equal to a variable called RG, which is going to be our dummy variable. We're going to default the guess to that to a value of 1. And we're going to take slant and divide it by 3. So this rule is going to set the value of the radius to initially 1 times slant over 3. So the initial guess for radius is slant over 3. We trigger that by putting a first guess value of 1 for variable RG. Now when we solve, it used that value and it found the radius value 2.046. If we change the problem, again, it's going to use slant over 3 as the initial guess for the radius and trigger an iterative solution from that. So in a sense, it's an educated guess. This strategy works well. You can use it regardless of the complexity of the expression that you need to use there for relating to the guess variable. The trick works the same. You just would still use the dummy variable defaulted to a guess of 1. That ends this session.